Hi Long Range Hunting, and welcome to Long Range Hunting Equipment Reviews. Now welcome back everybody. Today we're doing equipment reviews, and this is a series that I'm going to end up doing a lot of just because I get so many questions on a daily basis about equipment. You can see the pros, the cons, etc. of different equipment, my feedback on what I run and why, and just get to see some more products. That way you can better decide what you're going to get, especially when you start getting into long range stuff. Stuff does get expensive. So today we are testing out and reviewing some bags. These are from Cheney. He is a champion ELR shooter, which is extended long range, and holds world records. His longest shot in competition was, I think, 4,200 yards and some change. I'll put it here so you know exactly. But that's hitting a target, We're not talking about sitting there flinging rounds all day. I think he hit it on his fourth shot. But ELR competitions start generally at longer ranges, extend range like 1,500 and out. So, depending on competition or what you're doing, but generally most people are going to consider 1,500 yards and out extended long range. Now, these bags are unique for one really interesting reason. That's this. So there is a bladder in here that you can inflate or balloon, whatever you want to call it. And the reason he came up with these is because he was in a car accident, ended up severely damaging his arm, and so he couldn't use a regular rear bag. Now, a regular rear bag is going to look something like this, or you can use this. And what you're going to do is you're going to set it however you want for the height, and you're going to set your gun on there. Then you're going to squeeze with your non-firing hand to raise or lower it, open up, and you're going to place that right here on the rear of the buttstock, and it's going to be under there, and you're going to use that to adjust your point of aim. Now, if you have a messed up arm, this is going to be kind of hard to do. So he created these, which is nice because you can sit there and pump them up and then just let it sit, and it just sits there. It does not move. You can make big adjustments where you just quickly do that, or you can make very fine-tuned adjustments. And so it's actually pretty easy. It's really nice. It's got a nice fill in there. It does have this on the bottom, which gives you grip to keep your bag from sliding away. You also, on this one, have this little strap for carrying, which is nice. And so we're testing these out. Now, I've seen these around for quite a while since he created them. I just never actually messed with them. I have some friends who have them. They said they loved them. Ryan and I chat quite a bit, and so I ended up talking to him and said, hey, I want to order a few bags, test them out, do this, that, and the other, do some videos on them. And so I ordered some, and this is the cool part on this. So this is his top tier. This is his best seller. It's called the End Game. You remember the Game Changer bag that was a Game Changer? This is the End Game, and it's very nice. I like the design of this, but this one isn't even available yet. He said it should be. He just got back from King of the 2 Mile in France, but this is the new prototype of his long-range hunting bag. He's branching into that. So this is the new long-range hunting bag. He should have them up soon. This is going to be about $148 for this, and this is $170, but it's actually pretty nice. There's a big weight difference in these. This one's about 4 times heavier than this, just by feeling it. but it's nice that you can sit there and place your rifle on there and just make your little adjustments and sit there. And I've got plenty of footage for that. Not only do I have footage through the rifle scope, through the trigger cam, but you also will see me shooting and you can see how it moves. And I tested it at different stuff, you know, just sitting on woods. And then with the bipods, I was testing out these skis versus not using skis and just the rubber feet on the Accutacs. So in the blind, it's a lot easier because I do have carpet and the lines directly line up with this, so it allows the gun to slide straight back and forth. But these bags I've had for a few weeks, been putting them through the paces, and I even got my dad one. And he is absolutely in love with it. You're going to see in the video in a second that there is literally a line of shooting bags, game changers, all kinds of stuff, Weebads, just a bunch of different bags. And those are all bags that used to be mine that I ended up giving to him. And then I still have other bags here too. So, you know, a lot of different bags that we've gone through, but that is by far his favorite. And we'll cover that more. Let's jump into the footage real quick though. This is my brand new range that I'm building right now. You know, so check it out. You can see from the vegetation, everything, Wind was having a field day with us. Please ignore the squeaking. It was so stinking hot that I had to prop the door open and sit of my hunting blind and set something against it, but the wind kept blowing it back and forth even then. So it was just so stinking hot that it was like an oven. So I had to have some form of ventilation. So just ignore that. Let's dive into the actual shooting. Hi, Lone Range Hunting. We're on my own personal range that we've been building. So this is the very first shot on this range. Excuse the door, I had to prop it open just because of how hot it is. And we're testing out the new bag today. We're going to be testing out a new bipod as well. So let's get on here. I'm going for the 700-yard target. Okay. And that's a first round hit. Very nice. Can't complain about that. This is a cold bore. Literally never shot this before. All right, ignore the door. What we're going to do is one target after another on these different ones. We have 200, 300, 400, and 700. So we're going to go ahead and run through these real quick with the bag and see how long it takes me to actually get set up on these different targets and ready. Dead center. Okay. Now we're going 3. And we need, there we go. Almost dead center again. All right, now we're going over to the 4. For that we need 6. Money. And then we're going out to 7. And that's 4 for 4 at 4 different distances. Okay. That was pretty good. As you can see, I nailed it dead center. This bag's pretty awesome. It's nice. You can just squeeze and release. It makes it real quick. I'm going to go ahead, yeah, I have enough. I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And we're going to run it a little faster and see now that I've actually done it. I think for this one, it's going to be a little quicker. Starting in at 200. And let's see how long it takes us. I'm not set up on it. I'm going to go ahead and just start off of it and go from there. And I knocked the plate off. That's no bueno. Alright, so let's go ahead and go up to 300. Hopefully I don't knock this one off. Right on top of the other one. That is money. Okay, and we're going to go for 400 here. So now we're moving over to 400. It's actually pretty quick to do this. Pretty sure that's right on top of the other one. I have to look after this. Let's go. There we go. Once again, got all of them. Unfortunately, I knocked one off, but pretty sure here. Yeah, I put, looks like both rounds, yeah, both rounds at 400 on top of each other. Same thing with the 300. All right, guys, here we are again. We're trying out this bag now. This is the long range hunting bag. It's the new one. We're going to test it out here. Still at 700 yards. Let's have some fun. We'll play some other distances too. There we go. Love that sound. Thunk. Alright guys, we're going to do the same thing with this bag. We're going to do a nice little troop line. This time I'm going to do pure holds. No messing with any of the any turrets. So I'm going to just do pure holds on this. Starting from 3 going out to 7. Okay, so let's start with 3. And let's go. Okay, we're going to move over now. Might need to clean the gun a little bit. And there we go. Now we're going to give this one a breather and play it to 308 a little bit once it cools down. Now you can see from the range it did really, really well. That's my new 1,000-yard range. We're not quite to 1,000 yet. That was at the furthest 700. Got a first round cold bore on the 700-yard target, and then the 2, 3, and 400-yard targets. You can see it smacked it, I mean, right dead center, and the other one was right on top of it on 2, 3, and 4. You didn't get to see the actual plate because I knocked it off, but it was right on top of the other one. It was just faulty hardware that caused that to go down. But it was very, very quick as far as getting adjusted. I was worried at first when I got them on how long it would take to adjust. It really didn't. You could see I could move it, you know, more or less, and I could just sit there and even do a basic little squeeze and really fine tune it. And once it's actually settled, like this one, you can sit there and put a line through it like that and set your buttstock, or just having it sit on this. Once it's settled, it almost just drops right back there. You know, it's kind of a learning curve on using a bag like this. And, you know, like I said, I was trying to do it as, you know, see how fast I could do it, but not where I'm compromising anything. You know, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So I was just taking my time and making sure I got good, solid hits on each one of those targets, which obviously I did. And so these are actually pretty cool. Now, here's some more footage. This is me at 100 yards, just, you know, blowing through. And, you know, I really need to clean these guns. But you're going to see, I was shooting another steel target. And, I mean, I put them right on top of each other. And it was just bam, bam, bam. I didn't record it because I didn't think about it at the time. You know, I was just doing load development at the time because I started off with that, using these bags to do load development, which was nice. I'll show you that in a second. But I'm sitting there and I was just stacking them on the same place in the steel, just one mark on that thing. And it was nice and fast. Now, oh, that's pretty nice. Not a whole lot of messing around. Because the wood is a little bit more slippery, the skis did not do as well. But these feet, they did phenomenal. It just dropped right back there. And any adjustments I really need to do was very minor to where I could influence it on the bag. And only occasionally would I have to go back and barely tweak the bag themselves. So had a good time with that. I actually was using this bag. I'm got the new 308 here. I got this a little while ago, and I've been doing load development for it. And so I was doing my load development first. I put rounds, you know, down with several different things. I was trying the A-tips, ELD match, Sierra TMKs, and the 185 Juggernaut open tip match burgers, which ended up being the best load. You can see these groups right here. The top one's 3 shots, the middle one's 3 shots, and the bottom is 5 shots. That's 100 yards with the bipod from the in-game bag. And you can, I have it on both the cardboard and the paper. I put the paper over the cardboard. It's much easier to measure groups with the cardboard because it doesn't tear like the paper. And so you can see exactly where the bullet holes are and get a better measurement. But I had a SD with the burgers of, which is standard deviation of 1.7 and an ES extreme spread of 4. And all 3 were one hole groups where it was touching. It averaged 0.3 MOA for all 3 groups. So it did phenomenal. It was really nice with this. I could get on and just set it, break the shot. It went right there. I'd rack another round. It's right there, bam. And it just, as soon as I set it there, sometimes I have to tweak a little with this, but as soon as I set it there, it was solid, and it was just pressing the trigger and hitting that same hole. So that was phenomenal on that side. I really like having this for that. Pros, they're good bags. They're very solid. They do have some cons though. This you do definitely have to watch out for. You don't want to get it ripped out or something. So it is something to pay attention to versus this where you can just throw it around or do whatever you need. You want to be a little bit more careful with these. You don't want to damage it. I really like that this has this carry strap right here, this big one. This is what I really wish this had. It's got a couple little ones right here, but it's not easy to grip like this. Now this is heavier, obviously, but I would like to see the same kind on maybe the back here to where you can grab it, hook it to something, whatever the case might be. You know, this one, because it is open in the middle, tends to bow a little bit. Not a huge deal, but it is one of those things that, like, this gives you full coverage, that one doesn't. But this one is, again, made to be lighter, so it's not bad, but again, trying to grab this to haul it around, it'd be much easier with the strap. So price is, you know, it is more expensive, but ultimately you're getting a very solid bag that you can sit there and, you know, do great shooting with. It's very easy to adjust, very solid. I really like how on this I have that line right there to where when I set it, it just slides and then slides right back. Now this will do it too. You don't get a whole lot of movement side to side on this. Now, these are very specific. Now, where I was shooting out of, that bench is actually my hunting blind. Now, we're going to end up building a platform back 300 yards so we can do the 1,000 yards. But due to the terrain, I'm going to have to get it up on a platform. So we're going to pull that blind off the trailer it's sitting on because it's portable. And we're going to do that here pretty soon, and we'll shoot 1,000. But when I'm hunting for whitetails down there, that's what I'm shooting at. So I'm going to just hunt. I'll have the 1,000-yard range, and then I can sit there and, you know, see game and shoot and do all that. So I'm going to be using this year and this for that, you know, hog hunting, deer hunting, coyote hunting. And so if you're shooting from something like that, or if you are going to be shooting prone, this is a great bag for that. So is this one. But it is limited to being just a rear bag. So that is kind of the downfall. Whereas you have something like this where you can use it a rear bag, a fore bag, you can throw it over something, put the rifle there. And so this is a little bit more versatile. And it does work well as a rear bag, but again, you're sitting there having to squeeze it or release it, and that takes muscle, so it's easier to relax for this. And I mean, you can just literally sit there and shoot, and you don't even have this hand do anything. You don't have to sit there and grip it or anything. Sometimes out of habit, I'll put it right there, but it is really nice. My dad absolutely loves this. It's so easy. He's doing load development on a 6.5 PRC right now, And so we're also building him a 600-yard range. I'll have the 1,000, he'll have the 600. So these are going to get a lot of use. So again, they are a little bit on the spendy side, but if you're wanting to really do load development or get really good dope, where you're sitting there shooting long range from a prone or from a bench, and you really want to get your data trued, these are phenomenal for that. So, but ultimately it's up to you guys what type you want to use. You know, some guys carry multiple bags, or they have multiple, you know, I have a bunch of different stuff for different occasions. You know, tripods, bags, this, but these bags are great for if you're just, you know, using it as a rear bag. I'm not sure when he's going to be releasing it. You can just pay attention to his website. He should be releasing this long range hunting one pretty soon, and then you guys can go from there. He does sell some cheaper bags too that are more in line with the price of this, but really my favorite out of these is this in-game. I really like it. I like too the shape of it here, so it's more how you're sitting behind it versus your arms hitting this. You know, that can be a problem with a bigger bag where you're trying to get on it. It can get around, versus where you take this bag and it fits right to there. So it helps with it being nice and wide. You got a big base, a lot of contact, but it's not interfering with you actually shooting. So they're both pretty nice. But guys, that's it for today on this. We've got a lot of reviews coming. I'm going to be doing some AccuTac reviews and some of the accessories. We've got a bunch more stuff coming. So pay attention. Everybody be safe out there. Happy hunting.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notification bell so you won't miss out on any future video. And happy hunting!